Woke up with a dream in my pocket. Took a step and I couldn't stop it. Every stumble lit a fire inside. Now I walk with my head held high. Lessons learned and bridges burned. Still I rise with every turn. This is more than just a climb. It's my moment, it's my time. No more hiding in the crowd. Gonna wear my soul out loud. The world is waiting just to see all the magic inside of me. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. Pages turn, but the heart stayed true. Every scar's got a golden hue. Telling my story in my own style. With every post, every smile. From the hustle to the heart. Every ending's a brand new start. Turning passion into plans. Now I'm dancing where I stand. I don't chase, I'm magnetized. My journey's written in the skies. If you're watching, hear me say, you're a light to find your way.
Hello everyone. Narelle Warcon here from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's an absolute pleasure and honour to come to you again on Who, What, Where Wednesday. And today we have or had a special guest. Let me get over to that shortly. So thank you for all those popping on. I can't see any messages coming through yet, but just let me check my... There we go. Got to open it up. Narelle, silly girl. Hi, Ava. Lovely to see you. Hi, Mayink. Thank you for joining. And hi, Sakuma Bag. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Evening here in Australia and afternoon, I believe, in India, Bangladesh. And Jean, when she gets here this morning, coming in from the US. So thank you, everybody. Narissa is here from New Zealand. So thank you for joining us, Narissa. And Kenton is here from New Zealand as well. Today's topic, what a big one, hey? I know every week I say that, self-talk and finding, I missed it, sorry, finding the meaning at every age. You know, we all come into, where we are at certain ages, and today we're going to go a little bit more in depth with that tonight. So thank you, Ava. Thank you for everybody joining, and thank you for those joining in on LinkedIn. Please pop me a message over there. I'd love to hear from all my LinkedIn people, and also those coming in on Narelle Warcon Author, which is my Facebook page. So pop over there, give it a like. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, do all the things that everybody else asks you to do. If you don't subscribe, that's fine. It is free. It doesn't cost you anything. So that's, it's just nice, because if you ring the bell, you get notifications for when I go live. I usually only go live on Who, What, Where Wednesday, on a Wednesday evening here in Australia. But I do plan on putting out some little spontaneous videos. So if you want to join in on those, then click that bell for all those notifications. So hi, Abdul, lovely to see you. And Jean's here. So great to be here. Thank you so much for joining us, Jean. I know it's early for you. And you've had a big week. So let's get into a few things straight up. And then I'm going to come over to our special guest. So I want to say, thank you to everybody. Your support means so much to me. Every week I'm able to come here, and you come here and take your time to come here and listen to the wordings, listen to the topics, listen and hopefully get some information that you can take away and apply to your own lives, So I'm hoping that next week we'll be able to have a survey available, because I'd love to get your remarks, your comments, your thoughts, your feelings around what we're actually bringing. Hello, Jalan, lovely to see you. I'm feeling quite good. I've had a bit of a day, but that's okay. I say that every week too. Uh, but it is lovely to have you all here. So I've got a couple of things to go through. One of them is I have heard from Willow, and she's had some really bad storms. Now it's sort of a little bit upsetting, or caught me a little bit off guard. Hi Deborah, hi Ruth, lovely to see you both. Both coming. Deborah's coming in from Australia, and Ruth is coming in from Norway. So lovely to see you both. I had an email from Willow, and Vivine is here as well. Thank you for joining us, Vivine. Lovely to see you. I was just talking and sharing with our listeners today about Willow, and I had an email from Willow to say that they had some really bad storms on the weekend. It had knocked their internet out, and where they live isn't just an easy case of getting it fixed. So tonight, Willow is going to try and come on. So please bear with me. I'm going to go through some information with you so that we can still have our Who, What, Where Wednesday. If Willow pops on tonight, fantastic. If Willow's not able to make it, hi Glenda coming in from South Australia. If Willow's not able to make it tonight, then we certainly will be getting her on probably a few times. But, as soon as everything's sort of stable, and we can't do much about that. So I'm sort of feeling a little bit, sad in a sense, because I was really looking forward to having Willow here. So don't go anywhere, because she still may be able to pop on. We're just hoping that her internet becomes stable enough for her to do that. As you know, there are many people coming in all over the world who have internet concerns, who don't always have the best internet connection. I am so thankful that I will. Yes, I know, Kent, and we pray for Willow. And her husband has not been too well, so if you could just keep him in your prayers as well. But, we do come in from all over the world. Excuse me. And sometimes the internet connection is poorly. I'm very fortunate that my internet is very good, but it doesn't always run the best either. Even coming in tonight, I was a bit pixelated and things like that. So I hope you can hear me well. I hope you can see me well. And let's get on with a little bit of a subject. Like I said, I've got a few things to share with you tonight. What's coming up? I do too, Jean. It's just one of those things, with Willow, because she's such a beautiful person. And, sometimes the internet sometimes it's meant to be when it's meant to be. And that's how I have to look at it, so that it's not upsetting for me. not that I want to, make Willow feel bad or anything, because she can't do anything about it. Hi, Laxmanji. Thank you for joining us, Ramaran, there as well. So let's get on with it. But I have some exciting news first. So I've got a couple of things to share with you. I am in the midst of creating a brand new website. Now, because today's topic is self-talk, finding meaning at every age means that you can do something, okay? We're creating a new website. I've had my old website for quite some years now, and it does what it needs to do. However, I love being creative. And one of the things that I've wanted to do for some time is bring about a new website. There's no rebranding. It's still going to be narellewarcon.com. But there's some big, bold, new, exciting changes coming to my website. So keep an eye out for that. So that's our first bit of news. So let's get on with this. Now, because Willow may still be able to pop on, I'm going to take this topic and I'm going to put my spin to it for now, until such time as we find out whether Willow can make it or not. If I do look down, I'm just looking to see if there's a message from her. So let's get going. So self-talk, finding meaning at every age. So the most important conversation you'll ever have is one you have with yourself. Isn't that so true? It's so important that what we're saying to ourselves, this is about the self-talk. How many times, are we talking to ourselves that we don't even realize what we're saying? Oh, thank you, Jean. I appreciate that, but it's getting old. So hello and welcome back. Over the last few weeks, we've been exploring what really gives our lives meaning. We looked at how age doesn't define our worth, and we will go into that over the next few weeks because I think this is really important for those who are online and struggling a little bit as to where you fit in. You know, the young ones have got it all worked out, right? Hi, mystical birds. Lovely to see you. Um, the young ones have got it all worked out to a degree, okay? And then we have those middle age where they came in and were able to, part of their life was about the internet. Part of their life was about learning new skills, I suppose, about online. So remembering that as an older age, say 50 plus, even 55 plus, you're at an age where it came into your life a little bit later. It wasn't something that you knew about. It was a new technology that was a little bit scary. Excuse me, sorry. It was a little bit scary. It was scary for me. You know, you were scared that you'd press the wrong button. You know, you were scared that if you did this, you didn't know where it would take you. You clicked on links probably without even the knowledge of knowing that what you were doing wasn't the right thing. And over the years, you've probably learned that there are some things that have had to change, or you've had to change, and you've had to become more included, I suppose, or more knowledgeable around what those technologies are. So um, we looked at how age, doesn't define our worth, and how sometimes it's the small, quiet things that hold the most power. So remember, small is the new big. We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. Thank you to everyone who wished my son a happy birthday. He had an absolute ball. He really, I think for him, it was sort of coming out and just going, you know what, this is what mum does, because he sits up at the other end of the house while I do my live. So thank you to everybody who wished him a happy birthday. He was very, very elated about all of that. Hello, Bablu. Thank you for joining us. So this week we're turning inward. Okay, so everything's about learning externally. What do I do here? How do I put this together? With the Ready Set program, with being prepared. Remember, Red Redfern talks about this as well, as doing something and being prepared for what's coming. Do we know what's coming? Absolutely not yet. Okay, but we can only imagine that it's going to be something where we need to be prepared. Okay, so this week we turned inward. Our topic: self-talk, finding meaning at every age. Whether you're in a season of searching, healing, or beginning again, and many of us have begun again, right? Whether it's been in business, personally, relationship, there are many things where you start again. The way you speak to yourself matters. Your inner voice can either be your loudest critic or your greatest comfort. Okay, so think about those things. What is that self-talk? And the beautiful part about it, you get to choose which one it becomes. So how beautiful is that? Each and every one of you gets the choice as to what happens in your life, what happens in here, okay? You have a choice about that. You can go with the negatives, stick with it. Yeah, I know, Narissa. Yeah, I'm pretty up there now. But I tell you what, my kids helped me a lot in the early days of the internet, that's for sure. So let's get into this. So number one, the power of self-talk. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And Henry Ford said that long time ago. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So remember, in here, okay, it's all in the mind. What's that self-talk? Now, we talk to ourselves constantly. Now, I didn't realize this, but the studies say that up to 70,000 thoughts a day. Can you believe that? 70,000 thoughts a day. Should I be doing this? Is that right? Is the milk in the fridge? Are the children here? Are we, there's self-talk going on, and thoughts, whether you see them as being different. I think sometimes we have many, many thoughts about what our day involves, what we're going to do, what we haven't done, what we still need to do, whether it's involvement with something, whether it's in business, whether it's sitting down at the computer and getting some work done today, whether it's creating and thinking about different things that are going on in your mind. But when we talk about self-talk, We're talking about what are we actually saying to ourselves? Do I need to do this now? Excuse me, am I procrastinating about this? Is that person, what is that person doing? You know, when you're out in traffic, Vivine would know this, you know, if they just get over into the left-hand lane, it just means that you can go in the right-hand lane and just keep going. But no, the slow drivers want to be in the right-hand lane. So you get a bit cranky maybe, okay? Yes, being kind to yourself is exactly that, Jean, as you would a dear friend. Absolutely. And that's what our next part of it is. But how often are those thoughts intentional? So do you catch yourself? Now, one of the things that I did teach myself was that I found myself going down a path of, not, I wouldn't call it negativity. However, I think it bordered that sometimes. You know, like I can't really give you a full example. However, there were times when, you know, it would be like the slow driver, say, for instance, get out of my way. I just want to get to where I'm going. You know, so it was a bit of a negativity type thing. I wasn't as careful in my thoughts, but what I did was I started to teach myself to stop and think about those thoughts. Now, do I do it every time? Absolutely not. You know, I'm not a genius like that. However, I do start to catch myself, and then I can change that thought into a positive and bring it back to something that's going to be something I've intentionally thought about rather than just free willy all over the place. So we talk to ourselves constantly, up to 70,000 thoughts a day, but how often are those intentional? So negative self-talk can sound like this: I'm too old to start over, I missed my chance, and I'm not enough. So positive talk, self-talk, isn't just about being blindly optimistic. You know, we can all go out there and love and, you know, fairy wary and, you know, love the world and everything like that. But in a realistic world, you know, you don't have to be blindly optimistic. Life is real, okay? Life is about living, and sometimes things happen in our lives. So it's about being constructive, curious, and compassionate. So, you know, this is, yeah, catching, I do catch myself. And it's a good thing, because as I learn to do that more often, then I will do it more often, hopefully. So positive self-talk, it's about being constructive, curious, and compassionate. So reframing is key. For example, so what if you said, I failed too many times? And then you changed it to, I've learned a lot about what doesn't work. I'm closer than I've ever been. You know, so how amazing is that? So rather than put yourself into that, oh, no, I'm too old, I can't do this, I've failed so many times in my life. No, you haven't. You've never failed, because each one of those parts in your life is a learning, is a lesson to keep stepping forward. You know, keep moving, or what do they say? Build a foundation from the bricks that people have thrown at you. That's what you're doing. You know, you can blame other people, or you can turn it around and say, you know what, I've learnt my lesson, and boy, did I have a lot, as many of you probably had. You know, I had some that were quite deep. Like I said, I've hit rock bottom many times, and I don't want to do that again. And I do believe that I will never do that again, because I've learnt my lessons. So I've learnt a lot about what doesn't work. I'm closer than I've ever been. I think that's a really strong, you know, intention that we can put into our heads and change those wordings around about that self-talk. So just a little question for you. What one phrase you constantly tell yourself, and does it serve you? So are you telling yourself something every day? You know, it doesn't serve you. So let's get on to number 2. I'll just check and see if Willow hasn't messaged me first. I say the internet still must be having problems. Okay, so number 2, meaning isn't a destination, it's a conversation. Meaning isn't a destination, it's a conversation. So life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. And George Bernard Shaw said that one. Sometimes they come with different quotes for my own liking, but sometimes those quotes that come from those amazing people really bring it home, I suppose. So self-talk isn't about confidence, it's about meaning. So people think, I'm going to gain more confidence because I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I can do this because if I change this around, it's going to make everything fine. But it's putting meaning to it. Thank you so much, Ruth. Many people think meaning comes from grand events. So everybody thinks, oh, once I get to this, I'm going to be like this and I can change myself then. But if you don't change yourself now, but once you get to those big events, like even in our business and what's coming, how are you going to handle the situation if you're still sitting in a negative thought? How are you going to handle that situation when many people want to ask you different questions about where our business is or what's going to happen, or, even talking about our products and things like that? So why do you think that sitting in the negative or staying where you are is going to help you any? It's not. It's got to have meaning. So many people think meaning comes from grand events, but most meaning is made in small personal moments. Okay? Like helping a neighbor, starting a garden, calling an old friend, or learning something new, as I am doing. And I'm trying to share with you each week different things. Remember, I've been through all of these stages. All of the topics that I've brought to you is about something that I have been through, something that I have lived through, something that I'm able to bring you the concept or the moving forward part of it, so that you don't have to go through the ups and downs so much. Okay. We're always here to help you out in anything that you need in that sense of learning and stepping up. So it's time, and it's very close time, to be able to really get stuck into now about thinking about what I'm actually sharing with you each week and the things that you can change one step at a time. So yeah, thank you, Rift. I've never seen you before, so welcome any new ones coming on. That's really wonderful that you've taken your time out to come on here and listen. So self-talk helps us notice meaning where others miss it. So what's that meaning to you? Yeah, self-talk is a huge step forward. Absolutely, becoming aware of it. And as I said, I catch myself now because, like I said, life goes on. It's never going to change and be just perfect. Nothing is perfect in life, okay? So these are a couple of examples. So self-talk helps us notice meaning where others miss it. So for example, a young person might say, I haven't done anything meaningful yet. So when you were younger, you sort of were perhaps comparing yourself to those who had more experience. But self-talk could reframe that by saying every step I take builds a meaningful life, and I get to define what that looks like. So imagine being young again and having that choice and having all of this knowledge about, direction and self-talk, and nothing's got to really do with age. Age is just a number, right? Um, to realize how words can set your mood. Absolutely. Vivino, that is very true. Words certainly set your mood. If you're waking up and going, oh, this, that, I've got to do this, and I haven't done that, and now I've got to do it today, and I'm whinging and whining because, you might be in pain, or, you can change that around just in an instant. Oh my gosh. It's just really quite easy. You just have to want to do it, okay? If you want to stay in the negativity, that's your choice, and we all have choices. We've spoken about this many times. So, okay, so step 3 is age and identity, rewriting the internal script. So C.S. Lewis said, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. I love this one myself, because I think in my life I've never thought that I was too old to set myself onto a new path, to pick myself up, to gain that positivity, to keep going, to find the right people to have around me. And I think that's really important in life, that, again, we talked about this many times, about having those right people around you. So society loves timelines, right? timelines for this: graduate at this age, success by that age, retire here. But those are scripts, not rules. Okay, who told you, or who do you think has the right to tell you when you should do something? Yeah, me too, Jean. I would have been much more gentle on myself. I was really hard on myself. So who has the right to tell you when you need to do something? Yes, you go to school. Yes, it's your choice to go on to graduate. Some of these young people today choose, say, a year off so that they can think about more deeply about which direction they want to take. And I think that's a grand idea myself. Once they graduate, there's no guarantees of getting a job or being successful in that particular business, professionalism. There's different ways of sort of looking at that, but it doesn't mean that you can't go on to do something. Now, because I only went to year 10, failed basically all of my classes except maths and business principles, yet I'm a very good speller. I failed English at school, hated it, absolutely hated it. But I went on to be successful in my life. Why? Because I chose to keep getting back up. I had some pretty tough times in my life, some pretty bad, horrible times that would have broken many people. It could have sent me to alcohol or drugs. It didn't. Thank God for that, and thank the dear Lord above. But like I said, you all have choices. We can choose to sit in that, but you don't have to live by the rules. The rules are there to be broken. Hey, Dr. Samemi? Sorry, I'm no good with names, okay? I'll just let you know that now. But welcome, thank you, lovely to see you. So your internal self-talk is where new scripts are written. A woman in her 60s launches a business. A retired man begins painting again. A teenager decides to ignore peer pressure and follow a calling that feels right to them. Now, how many or you might think about things, on different shows, or you've heard about it and read about it, where young people have gone, I just want to be a singer. And their parents want them to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything else bar a bum singer, because it's hard to make it in the singing world, right? You have to be quite good. And a lot of people, those younger people want to be able to succeed in life in what they love. How amazing is it to be able to get a job from a young age to do what you love, not because you need the finances. So remember, there's sort of intertwined in a lot of things here. Sorry, I'll just check my phone again. I don't want to leave Willow out in the cold. Okay, there's nothing there right now. Our age does not define the validity of our dreams, only our willingness to pursue them. So our age doesn't define your dreams, okay? It only defines the willingness to pursue them. So how many times are you sitting back, sitting on your hands saying, I can't do this, this is not for me, I want to do this, I love doing this, oh, can I do this, can I do that? Is everybody going to laugh at me? Is everybody going to think I'm silly? That's all head talk, self-talk, and I can't wait to have Willow on so that she can explain, some of those techniques that she has used previously in that self-talk. So how amazing will it be to have our dear Willow on? Right now, it looks like her internet is not doing what it should do. So I haven't heard back from her yet. As humans, is that you can turn that around in an instant. Self-talk. We are in God's image and we can do that in an instant. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It is very easy. You just have to choose to want to do it. Do you want to change your life around? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. So here's a question for you. What's one belief about age and identity that you're ready to rewrite? Is there something that you're ready to look at in your life to go, you know what, I'm really going to start thinking about what I'm saying to myself, thinking about those words that I might be saying negative or even about other people, okay? So you don't have to like everybody. The world is full of very different people and from all parts of the world. You know, we have a very big family within our business, and it's taken me, I know mine was a big thing around trust because I'd come through really bad relationships, and particularly around men, and I had to learn. But what happened for me was that when it became both ways and those people showed that they could be trusted, showed me that, you know, what they were saying was truthful, then my walls started to come down. Taban, this is not a place for that. Thank you very much for coming along, but it is not a chat for that, so thank you. Okay, number 4, tools to improve your self-talk. So this is where we get into a little bit. So Breen Brown says, talk to yourself like someone you love, just as you had said earlier, Jean. You know, it's so important. We talk to other people and we love on them and we care about them, but do we do that to ourselves? You know, are we talking nicely to ourselves, or are we forever going, my bum's too big, my face is too skinny, my hair's the wrong color, I'm going grey. I didn't want to turn my life. Oh, do I want to turn my life around? Yeah. And I think that's a big question for most people is, and it's probably said in different ways. Do I want to turn my life around? Am I ready to turn my life around? How can I turn my life around? You know, there's quite a few aspects to that. Thank you for your words. Thank you, Kenton. I love having your very positive comments in the chat, so thank you. Okay, so changing your self-talk isn't automatic. Okay, it's not something that you just put into like a car and put it into drive and that's it. You're going to be positive and you're going to be, positive in your self-talk and things are going to change around and you're going to be, oh, this wonderful new person, okay? But it is trainable, okay? Like I said, I started to catch myself thinking about things that I could stop and go, you know what? I need to change that thought now. In an instant, you can do that. Hi, Asha. Lovely to see you. And there was somebody else popping in there, but I'll come back to you anyway. So you can see how important it is. I don't think you call it. Yeah, absolutely it is. Dr. Soemi, thank you so much for your positivity within the chat because it really is amazing that procrastination, it all comes to this, you know. You think you're small, but small is the new big. You know, you procrastinate, I'm too old for this or I'm too young. Remember, there's both sides of the age groups. So here are a few strategies. And I found this one quite funny in a sense, but I agree. So name the voice. Name your voice. Give your inner critic a name. Make it separate from your true self. You can laugh at it, debate it, or dismiss it. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to call my inner critic George. I don't know why it's a man, but anyway, let's just say that. So George, stop doing that. Oh, George, you're thinking about that. That's silly, George. You know, like give it a name so that what your inner critic or your negative thinking, you're giving it to that name, to that personable thing that you've named it. I just found that, hey George, I just found that to be quite fascinating. And for me, that actually brought up something for me that I'm going to now, actually apply that to my thinking because I think that could be quite fun. Oh, excuse me. People might think I'm turning a bit loopy, but they probably think that is already the way that I am. But try it. Give it a try this week. Name your inner critic. I want to hear the names next week because I think this will be a very fun activity to be able to bring about next week and go, you know what, I called mine such and such and I told it this, this and this, you know, and laughed at it and we laughed together and stuff like that. So use yet. Now, I tell you who I got this from, or what it recalled for me was Robin Noble. Our dear Robin, who needs our prayers all the time, always said, when you say something, add yet to limiting beliefs. So I can't do this yet. I'm unable to achieve that yet. So instead of just saying you can't or you won't or it's impossible to do, always put yet, Y-E-T, excuse me. Just have a little drink. Okay, so always put yet at the end. And I do remember Robin Noble sharing that with us quite a while ago. But I think Robin had a beautiful, well, she's got a beautiful voice. Everybody's going to listen to Robin, but when you add that to your messages, your mind talk, remember, and even when you're talking out, not just self-talk, but I hear people saying, I can't do that. Always put yet on it, even if you're speaking it out and using your words. So journaling or voice notes. So externalizing your thoughts helps you spot patterns. Now, you know that I don't journal or anything like that. However, I can understand that for people writing it down, that it becomes, you can see those patterns as they're happening. So what happened today, instead of just journaling, hey, I went here today and I did this and this person and that person, start to add in a little bit at the end about, I talked to McCutlery. I talked to a lot of things for Vinay. I didn't want to share that, but since you put it out there, what was I saying now? I've forgotten completely. Okay, so so if you're journaling, it comes back eventually. If you want to put those things down, add a little bit at the bottom of your daily activities or what you're journaling about, and put a little bit in there about self-talk, about what you did today. What did you talk to your inner critic about? What did you catch them out on? Did you have a laugh with them and say, well, that was pretty hilarious? I just think, honestly, I think my life has just turned around and changed, because giving it a name gives it, it takes it away from your own self and gives that name the responsibility, in a sense. I don't know if I'm sort of making sense here. I talk to my plants all the time. That's why I have beautiful plants. I go out there and I say, hello, everybody. If I'm bringing in a new plant, I will say, we've brought in this new plant today. I would like you to all make her welcome. She's very green and she's beautiful. And please, and everybody get on, and you look beautiful today. Wealth of experience and great community here. Thank you so much, Doctor. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So I absolutely agree with you there on that one, Jean. It does shift everything. And whether people think I'm crazy or not, who cares? It's only really my son here listening to me anyway. So, all right, number 5 is the bigger picture. You're not alone. Oh, sorry, I missed one step. I missed a step about mirror talk. So how many times, do you look in the mirror per day? Okay, and how many times do you actually go, oh, look at that. Oh, my eyes look saggy and baggy, or my hair's getting grayer, which mine is. Thank you, Jean. Yeah. Uh, I know, I feel a little bit silly tonight. However, sorry, I'm just checking again. Oh, I want Willow on so badly. But anyway, let's continue. It is what it is. So mirror talk is how, you may feel awkward at first. Now, I've spoken a lot about, say, domestic violence. And when I talk to people about beginning to love who you are, loving yourself, which sort of plays a little bit into each topic that I bring each week. But when I talk about mirror talk, I talk about find one thing about yourself that you really do like. I like my nose, my eyes, my ears, my hair, my breasts, my back, whatever it is, preferably if it's in the mirror, okay? And say to yourself, that you find one thing. So say it's my eyes. I love the fact that I have green eyes, because a lot of people that are blonde usually have blue eyes. I don't say all that crap, but I'm just saying, I love it because I have green eyes. Now, if you can find that one thing and tell that to yourself once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, progress upwards, then you find something else about yourself that you like. So mirror talk is important. It may feel awkward at first, but speaking to yourself with intention in the mirror can be surprisingly powerful. When you start to love on yourself, it takes away those negativity thoughts, because a lot of those thoughts creep in because we don't love ourselves enough, and we don't allow ourselves to be loved or to be strong within who we are. You are amazing. Like I said, I'm going to keep telling you every week until somebody keeps telling me in the chat that they are now thinking that they're worthy and amazing and awesome and beautiful and kind and caring and all of those things, because you all are. Okay, so next, step 5. A lot of people do, doctor, and that's the thing. We look in the mirror how many times a day? You brush your hair, you brush your teeth, you might shave, you might, be doing things, or you're washing your hands after you've been to the toilet, and things like that. So how many times do you actively look in the mirror, but you're not saying anything to yourself? Even the fact of just saying, I love you, Narelle Warcon. You don't have to say that. You can say your own name. But what I'm saying is that if you can actively say to yourself about looking and finding and focusing on the things you love, absolutely. And one of those things you should be loving is yourself. Love yourself first unto the dear Lord above, because I love the dear Lord above. I love him above and beyond anything. But when you're here, you need to love on yourself first. And part of that about focusing on what you love is starting right here first. Do this work, and honestly, your whole life can change around. It will make a huge difference. Jean, I need to go back to listen to that. Tell yourself in the mirror, I love you. Absolutely. Jean, I do need to go. There's a couple I need to catch up on because I'm running a little bit behind after not being able to quite make it to Monday Fun Day. I was just over and out. That was it for me. But please, like I said, there's a few people that are talking about, different topics and things like that. We all are reiterating what we know and what we've been through and what we've lived through. Okay, so each and every one of you I know is an amazing person. So the bigger picture is you're not alone. Anybody who thinks they're alone in this world really needs to reach out. If you haven't got anybody there, then reach out to any of us. I'm sure that we can take the time to spend 5 minutes with you. Like I said, a couple of weeks ago, I spent half an hour, 15, 20 minutes with a man who was suicidal on Facebook. Hadn't been in any sort of conversation with him since 2019. If you feel alone in this world, thank you, Jean. I love you too. And all of you, I love you all. If you feel alone in this world, then you need to stop that negativity in your mind that you're not good enough. Remember, every week I come to you to tell you that you're all amazing, okay? And say those things that are, I really love another if they don't have self-love. Doctor, just by you saying that, I'm going to quickly just diverse over to when I was younger and people said to me, you got to love yourself first before you can love everybody else. And I thought, yeah, I love myself. Of course I do. And I know some of you out there are thinking, I love myself. What's she talking about? But the thing is, I didn't understand until that was all I had in my life. So I had been knocked down so many times. The strength that I needed to get back up, particularly as I got older, was a strength that came from loving who I was. Okay, now I didn't know that I didn't love me the way that I should. I didn't know that all of my negativities in my life came from a thought in my head as well, not the domestic violence part of it, but that was growth and lessons and learning, so I am who I am today. But when I started to learn to love myself first, before, after God, my life started to change. And you really shouldn't be in a relationship. I know this is harsh words, but you really shouldn't be in a relationship if you haven't done the work on yourself, or you can do it with your partner, or you can do it with your business partners. Remember, this works in all aspects of life. It isn't just about loving who you are. Oh, I'm so good, rah, rah. No. This is about taking on the fact that you have been born unique. There is nobody else like you. You know, you have your own set of fingerprints. Amazing. Incredible. You are amazing and incredible. Okay. We're all just walking each other home from Ramdas. That's a lovely one too. So when we're walking each other home, what does that mean? We're helping and guiding and creating and being and, you know, loving on other people. It takes little effort to love than all the hate in the world. And I don't want to go down that path because there's so much negativity in our world. If you are stuck there, my true beliefs is God knows what's happening. God knows what's going on in our world. Trust that. Have faith. Okay? Trust the fact that it is meant to be how it's meant to be, as awful as what that sounds. We don't want it to be that way. We don't even know the reasoning behind it half the time. You know, I flick through Facebook occasionally and I see everybody's opinions, you know, but what truth do we really know? And bringing that over to our business, what truth are you listening to? Make sure that you're listening to the self-talk of good truth, not from rubbish that's been put out there. So no matter what your inner voice says, you're not the only one struggling with it. Everybody has it. Like I said, if you can name me one person that doesn't have inner chatter, then I would be totally amazed. Hello, Peruri. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, so talking about self-talk breaks the illusion that everyone else has it figured out. So please, that negative thought that's going, oh, look at her, look at Jean, look at Vivine, they've got it all worked out. Is that right, ladies? Got it all worked out? So just remember that those negative thoughts are coming. Remember that it's truth that you should be listening to. You know, if you're a Christian person or a person who loves God, you know where that truth is coming from. Okay, take that negative talk, change it around, and don't ever, ever, think that you are alone, because you are not. So, okay, so here's a bit of. There are some things that you can do, and I know I've said this before, and people might say, "Oh, I don't really want to do that." Well, maybe you should try. So, join a group. You know, I'm in some group chats that I absolutely love. I don't say a lot in some of them, but I read some of them because I just love reading from those people about, you know, what's going on in their lives or where the prayers are needed. You know, start a conversation. So, when was the last time you went out and said to somebody in the supermarket, "Hey, how you going? You know, can I help you with that?" When was the last time you opened a door and said, hey, Elizabeth. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Lovely to see you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, how many times do you go out and try those things? Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate that. And if you find this of value, please share out with anybody that you know so that more and more can come along. What time is it now in Australia? It is 10 to 9, so 8:49 p.m. on a Wednesday night. Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate all your beautiful comments in the chat area. So start a conversation. You know, if you're feeling down, what's the best way of doing it? Lift up somebody else. So start a conversation. You know, how are you doing? Open the door. Can I help you with something? Start a conversation with your neighbor. You know, start a conversation about the weather. Oh my gosh, you know, we're like 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks into winter, and today was like a shorts and t-shirt day. Hello. But it's supposed to get down to 12 tonight, so that's a little bit cold. And be the mirror for someone else. So if you know of somebody who's feeling a bit down, even if you don't know, sometimes you sort of get a feeling, you know, that person's gone quiet, or that person's a little bit different to what they are. Maybe it's at your workplace. You know, maybe there's somebody at work that all of a sudden they might be going through something that isn't something that they can talk about with work people. But I can tell you, I can guarantee you that if you go and say to them, "Hi, how are you?" You smile, take them a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, do something nice for somebody else, and that uplifts not only them but yourself. And that self-talk, oh my gosh, that made me feel so good. I'm going to do that again because it made me feel good. Okay. And those things do over and over and over until it just becomes a natural part of your life. Okay. And that helps to get rid of that self chat negativity. Okay, so you are not behind. You are not too late. Remember, they are subjects we spoke about before. You're right on time because meaning begins wherever you begin listening. So are your ears open? You know, are you open to listening? Are you open to learning? Are you able to progress forward? Do you want to learn more? Do you want to be prepared for what's coming next? These are all the questions, like I said, I bring to you each week about what is actually progression. You know, what do we need to do to move forward? What can we do? Take the things, like I said, if you want to watch some of the past videos, the past lives, they're all on my YouTube under the Narelle, Narelle Warcon. Just go and search for me, you'll find me everywhere. Nigeria. Okay, thank you, doctor, for coming in from Nigeria. That's incredible. Okay, Vivino, what are you saying? I know I've been seeing your name coming up. Okay, so take a breath, say something kind to yourself, then take the next small step. So maybe that's an activity that you can try this week. Okay, thank you, Arva. I appreciate that. So take a breath. When you know, the mind, how the mind goes chatter, chatter, chatter. No, shut up. You know, like just stop. So take a breath. Stop. Take a breath. Okay. Say something kind to yourself. Energy helps. I take things too seriously sometimes. I do too, Jean. I think, oh my gosh, I should be more fun. You know. And look, there's a reasoning behind that, because where I came from, and when I wrote my book and my story about my life and things like that, I really lost who I was. I forgot who I truly was, because I'd lived as that other person, or lived in such a toxic relationships, that I forgot who I was. So sometimes it's about finding yourself, but the best way you can find yourself is to start loving yourself. Okay, so if the guest speaker hasn't turned up, so we're a little bit disappointed about that, Willow, but we're not going to hold Willow to that. Like I said, it's an internet connection. She had bad storms. She lives in an area that she has been able to email me, thank goodness, but not tonight. So let's make another time for Willow to come on, because I know that Willow will have some amazing stuff that she has shared before with her listeners, because Willow had a show, I think it was called After Midnight or something like that, on YouTube. So let's welcome Willow with open arms when she finally gets that internet back up, and we can bring her on. If any of you here would like to be a guest speaker and come on and share different things, we can talk about different topics. Hello, Lisa. Lovely to see you. You caught it today. I know that last week you said you came in late. And Kiva's here. Thank you, Kiva, for joining us. She can come another time. I know. It will be fascinating and wonderful, and I hope that I've been of value for you today, because I know that when you're expecting somebody else, you're sort of not expecting just me to be chattering on. But I do hope that I've brought value for you today on our topic of being about self-talk. Okay, so we will get her on another time. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent, and that was said by Eleanor Roosevelt, if I said that right. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So if you're absorbing on that negativity and you're taking on the on, remember, you're allowing that. Okay. Yes, Jen, we are very sad to miss her. Yeah, it is. And sometimes, with the internet, if you've got a bad connection, there ain't anything you try, right, that's going to change it. So we love you, Willow, and we shall see you again in the near future. We will certainly sort out a time with Willow to be able to bring her on. So thanks for joining us this week. If this resonated, share your favorites. Share your self-talk. Like, go and do something. Try an activity. Try one thing. About that self-talk. And remember, the voice you feed is the one that grows. So if you're feeding negativity, if you're feeding negativity in here, that's what grows. Okay, don't be involved with what's going on out there. Stay true to yourself, stay true to your own belief in what you believe in. Okay, nobody's asking you to change beliefs. We're just asking you to love on yourself a little bit more than what you're doing right now, and don't get caught up in all that negative blah 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 that's going on. Okay, so that's it for our topic today. Like I said, we will bring Willow on in the not so distant future. But anyway, I do want to share something else with you. Now, you may have seen last week that we have a new membership coming to the site. It is now up and current, and I've learnt something new this week. So one of the things that the membership, it's a new membership. So you know how Red has the tea clubbers. This is a little membership to be able to help those in need, but just also to bring about early access for new members. You may have a join button that you might see where you can join as a member. We have a couple of levels just there at present. Like I said, this is all brand new for me. It's about bringing, great information topics, but it's also about giving back and things like that. So members only will get priority and priority for comments as well as we grow larger and larger each time we come on. And these things don't happen overnight. But I'm here every week to be able to bring you some great topics and great people. Again, I was saying, just step back one little bit. If you want to come on and just have a little chat, please just reach out, send me a message and say, I'd really like to come on, as long as you can speak good English, because I'm not really good at any of the other languages. But if you want to come on and just have a little chat, we usually have a topic. If you want to come on as a guest speaker, you can come for 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be the whole show. It's not the diamond within or shining the light. It's just a little chat about the topic. So maybe you've lived through something, an experience in life. We don't have a topic next week because I really want to see if Willow will be available. And you will find it if you've subscribed to my channel and hit that bell, click on the bell for all, and you will be able to get those notifications, and it'll come out and let you know who's coming up next week or what the topic will be. And maybe it's something that really record it and premiere. Yeah. Look, I'll try my best, Jen. I think when we do lives, it's beautiful to just have that interaction and Willow's such a beautiful person. I'd really like to have her on live, not just a recording. I understand, what you're saying there. But let's see how it goes with her internet, and I will let you all know. I have you. I know who you are, and I know where you live. So, like I said, I'm just going to play a little video for my new memberships, and remembering that this is not a particular, we're just starting for a small amount. Like I said, it's about bringing some more value to those people who want to help give back as well. So stay with us for just a second. We'll put that little create a little bit more of a special part, so that you feel also that you are a part. You come here every week, you support me, with your kindness and your love. So it's about helping those and being of better value in a sense. So if there's anything else that you like, if there's a topic that you'd like me to share or talk about in the near future, then certainly send me a message with all of that. Thank you so much. I'll just pop over to the chat just quickly. Remembering that I do have a website, a new one coming, so no time frame on that yet, but just keep an eye. So narellewarcon.com, you can pop over to that. Nice to hear you. May Almighty God bless everyone in on passive. Thank you so much for that, Iron. I think it was Iron Lewis. Thank you, and thank you for being a new subscriber. If you haven't already subscribed, just go over and subscribe. It is free. But yeah, if you want to join in the memberships, we're going to be calling, or we think we're going to be calling diamonds and things like that. So because I'm about, shining that diamond, the diamond within, finding and scratching the surface of all of you. Hi, Birgit, lovely to see you. So just keep an eye out for that. What was I going to do? Go through the messages. Vivine, thank you so much for joining us. I know that you're probably on your way home from work, and I am so sorry, and my apologies to all here that came on to hear Willow tonight. Like I said, Willow will be here as soon as we can. Ava, thank you for joining in from Bangladesh. Jean, of course, from the US. Always a pleasure to have you here, Jean, and thank you so much for your support always. Prayers and continued prayers for your daughter Eden. I hope things are improving immensely and that they get to the bottom of what's happening, and that she can get back to living her beautiful 26-year-old life. My daughter will be 26 in December. Thank you, Kenton, for joining us tonight from New Zealand, and appreciate all your beautiful and kind messages in the chat. Dr. Soimi, one day. I'm in Queensland in Australia, the best state there is, because it's a big state, but it's also quite tropical. So I live in North Queensland, which is, it's still warm at the moment. Thanks again, Lisa, for popping in. I'm glad that you made it this week, Kiva, Ava, Vivine, and any of those who are new here. If I've missed you and you're over on LinkedIn, please leave me a comment over there. If you know me on my Facebook page as Narelle Warcon author, you can pop over there. I do leave some messages and also some little videos over there as well. You might see me here, there, and everywhere, but sometimes it's about reaching different people and getting my message out there about you being amazing. Deep things. You say deep things, but I don't see them as deep, but I do see them as learnings and lessons. And if I don't come out and share my experiences in life, then where do you go? I hope that you trust me in what I'm saying is bringing about the truth. So remember to keep focused on where you're going. Remember to stay the path with the truth, okay? Because the truth is the only thing that wins, okay? There is nothing in negativity that wins. Try something this week about pulling yourself up and saying, that's not what I should be thinking. And remember to give it a name, okay? I think that's going to be crazy. And I really do want to hear from you next week on Who, What, Where Wednesday about what you've named that inner critic, and maybe some experiences around what you've actually, felt this week around those changing that negativity, self-talk, and things that you've, just caught yourself doing, I suppose. So think about that. Stay positive. I will join you again. They are deep and authentic. I don't know where that one's come from, Jean, but we'll take that one as a positive. Thank you so much for everybody who's joined in. If I've missed your name tonight, please forgive me. I wish each and every one of you an absolutely beautiful rest of the week. Today is Wednesday night, still coming into Wednesday for the USA. And for Kenton, I think it's about 11 o'clock at night. So thank you, Kenton. I really appreciate it. Like I said, stay blessed. Stay true to the truth. Just listen to the truth. That's all you need to do. For any of those out there, just get rid of that old negative talk. Don't listen to the negativity. What's coming will be better than you know. All right. I love you all. Thank you once again, and blessings to each and every one of you. I shall see you again next week, hopefully with Willow, on Who, What, Where Wednesday. Love to you all. Blessings.
with a dream in my pocket. Took a step and I couldn't stop it. Every stumble lit a fire inside. Now I walk with my head held high. Lessons learned and bridges burned. Still I rise with every turn. This is more than just a climb. It's my moment, it's my time. No more hiding in the crowd. Gonna wear my soul out loud. The world is waiting just to see all the magic inside of me. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. Pages turn but the heart stayed true. Every scar's got a golden hue. Telling my story in my own style. With every post, every smile. From the hustle to the heart. Every ending's a brand new start. Turning passion into plans. Now I'm dancing where I stand. I don't chase, I'm magnetized. My journey's written in the skies. If you're watching, hear me say, you're a light to find your way. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. If they doubt you, let them talk. You're the thunder when you walk. Turn your truth up past the 10. You're the spark, ignite again. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, set the world alight. You're special, let it show.